Let's get ready to story!
Friendship's a funny thing, isn't it? We go our whole lives and we pick these people to be around. They're not necessarily family, but we spend all of our time with them. So this brings me to one of my very first friends, who I actually met in 5th grade because I was a loser before that. Still kind of am, but I was a loser with friends at least. And my friend Greg. We met in this kind of it's been so long, we tell the story and retell it so many times that this story has changed, so it may not be 100% accurate, but we tell it like it's a romantic comedy plot. What happened was, it was 5th grade, end of 5th grade, spring. I was writing down in my notebook, the bell rang. The teacher ran through the halls ringing this bell, and I dropped my pen. My friend Greg walks over, I didn't know him at the time, and he trips on my pen, and I'm like, hey, you broke my pen. So we both reached down to grab the pieces, and our heads bumped together, and we looked at each other and smiled. Hey, my name's Robert. That's what I said. I went by Robert back then. Catholic school. And he said, my name's Greg. Hey, you like Jimmy Buffett? That was the first thing out of his mouth. And of course I like Jimmy Buffett. Who doesn't? Come on, what 5th grader doesn't like Jimmy Buffett? So we bonded over that. And then years went by, and we ended up getting closer. We became like the kind of friends who were just always together. It was me, him, and my friend Corey. We were the 3 amigos. So we went from 5th grade. 5th grade was the year we met. 6th grade was the year we became friends. 7th grade was the year we were introduced to energy drinks. We didn't know what they were. And Father Monsignor Kelly would give them to us at the church picnic. He didn't know what they were. They were kind of new. So he just started feeding us. And we were up till 5 a.m. that night. And then 5 p.m. the next day is when we woke up. And yeah, it was Monster, I think. Red Bull Monster, something like that. So then that was the 7th grade. 8th grade, that's when it got crazy, all right? We got together and we actually went to Ellis Island with our teacher. And she was great. She was this little old nun from the Bronx. So it was really funny to see her because she was like a young nun, but she had this thick New York accent. And we actually ended up going through the security checkpoints there. Guy, really tall, maybe about 6 feet tall, or maybe 7 feet, at least according to our little 8th graders, when I was like this height, but maybe an inch shorter. And we went through this really tall guy, trench coat, walked through. We were fine. You know, Homeland Security being what it was. Next guy. Really big, looking around, all shifty, completely fine. Nun with a bunch of Catholic school kids walks through, beep, 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 beep. Sorry, ma'am, we're gonna have to frisk you. So, that was a little weird. So my friend and I were just sitting there laughing hysterically as our teacher, Sister Immaculata, was getting frisked. So the guy took the wand, beep, 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 nothing. Ma'am, gonna have to ask you to remove that. I'm like, what? The thing that's under your dress. She reached in, it was like a weird skirt thing. It was her rosary that set it off. It was this metal beaded rosary that set this alarm off at Ellis Island. So no, they didn't take the 2 creepy guys off the side. They took the nun with all the Catholic school kids. America. That was 8th grade. Now in the summer, and then high school, that's when things we kind of got a little more mellow with us. My friend Greg and I, we always had those experiences together. In 9th grade, I stayed at his house for a whole week when my parents went on a cruise. At that point, I thought his family was going to kill me. Because I was really annoying as a kid, really annoying. I would be loud, and I had this voice, but higher pitched because it was before puberty. Now, imagine what it was like then. It was kind of like this. That's kind of how I spoke. Then, of course, over the years, we ended up drifting apart. Because that's what happens with friends. You make them, and then they change your life, and they shape it into, without him, I would not be the way I am today. He's what made me competitive. Because he was always the one who got all the good grades, so of course I had to keep up with them. Never did, of course. He's he's in neurosurgeon school, in Duke University now. So I work for company that I make Google Plus pages for a living. For those of you who know what that is, that's like, Google Plus. So years went on, and in high school, we rode to school, to and from school every day. And it went from being that ninth grade, hanging out every day, and like going to and from school together. 10th grade, hanging out a couple times a week. 11th grade, hanging out maybe like once a month. 12th grade, never seeing each other, like ever. Then we got to choose our colleges. As I said, I stayed at Marywood University because I had a girlfriend. Ended well. Good terms. He ended up going to North Carolina because he was like, okay, I kind of want to stay. And I was like, dude, you can't. And then he got to the point where we don't talk anymore. It got to the point where I was thinking, racking my brain. I was invited to perform in this StorySlam thing, and I was like, what can I tell? What can I tell? I don't remember anything from my childhood. And then I ended up sending him a text. Greg, I know we don't talk anymore, but I don't remember my childhood. You were there. Tell me what to say. And he was like, dude, tell the story from when we went to Ellis Island, or when we did this, or when we did this, when we discovered energy drinks, all these things you stayed at my house. And it was great. We got to actually catch up for once. But now we see each other maybe once every couple of years. But we make that a point. We will get together once every 5 years and go to a Jimmy Buffett concert. From when we met. So far we have been to 9 Jimmy Buffett concerts together, all because of that day we met. And you know what? Yeah, you do drift apart from friends. But you can't forget them. There's so many friends that you've probably had when you were a kid, and you probably don't talk about them anymore. You probably don't talk to them. But every once in a while, you'll be going through a photo album, and you'll be like, I can't tell my parents about that. Thank you.